Well, tonight I've got suited and booted and I've made my way to North Pattaya to one of my favourite restaurants. It's Mantra, and we're here for a night of music. The Bangkok Symphony Orchestra, actually the BSO Quintet, are going to be entertaining the guests, the diners tonight. So let's go in, see what it's all about. Well, I've managed to drag myself away, not just from the wonderful music tonight here at Mantra, but also the 6-course dinner laid on by the chef. And I've managed to catch up with the resident manager, Richard Margot. Richard, it's very nice, isn't it?
That's gorgeous. Thank you, Paul.
It's just, you know what, everybody knows that Mantra is one of my favourite places, but and classical music. Are you a classical fan?
Well, I like classical music, but I could not say I'm a fan. I definitely have classical music in my library. I have quite a bit of it. I would say probably the most known pieces and what you could call probably more commercial classical music.
Mostly French?
That could be if you think Chopin is French. Am I right to say? Yes, eventually. But a bit of anything. No, Vivaldi probably more. Mozart as well. The Ninth Symphony, Beethoven. I love very much. Johann Strauss. When I was young, my father loved all these Viennese waltz played by Strauss. So, but no, I'm not an expert in classical music, I have to say.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it's very nice to get a little bit of culture in Pattaya because we don't get it that often. You know, rewinding 10 years ago, Pattaya, the idea of having culture in Pattaya would be laughed at. It's a joke, you know. But now, Mantras came on the scene, and over the last couple of years, you've been putting on these musical events. You've had Vitrio, I think it was.
That is right, yes.
Which are kind of dynamic. I was going to use the word sexy, but they're like a dynamic.
No, they would play classical music in a modern way. They would rearrange everything and play. So Vitrio was there. We had this Scottish night, and I think you were there. And
both years actually.
And the Scottish night will definitely come back this year. We're looking into it.
But this is the first. This tonight is all classical, but it's the first in a series that you're going to be launching for the whole year, isn't it?
That is right. I would say eventually, but I'm new to Pattaya. Obviously, when it comes to purely classical, I would say Mantra might be the first one. Indeed, that's the first of a series. Obviously, as you said, there was probably Pattaya years ago may have been a cultural desert in a way. So we're trying to fill some gaps, and obviously we've identified that there was a demand for quality music and entertainment in a place like Mantra. So Mantra Classic is the first of a series. We're going to keep up going with different style of music. The second concert plan, dinner concert, is planned for May, and that one will be Mantra Jazz. Yet we haven't got all details, but obviously we'll communicate to our guests very soon. The date is almost definite now. It's 18th of May. That one will be followed in June by Mantra Latino.
Okay.
So Latino is going to be also live music. Latino stands for tango, bossa nova, salsa. So that's going to be probably more dynamic. So you can put your Bermuda if you come for that night.
Yeah.
It will make it very different.
And the first time you'll live shorts inside Mantra, I think.
That would be quite exceptional. That would be a good reason for it, I have to say. Later on, and that probably will be just after the July and August holiday, we're going to kick back again with Mantra Retro. Now, Retro is going to be probably something of a bigger magnitude. We're trying to put together a big band. That's more difficult here in Pattaya and definitely in Bangkok. And the program will be around the 50s in the US when you had those traditional big bands playing. One of them was actually famous, Glenn Miller. I'm probably a little young to talk about him, but I would say those who know that music would know.
Regarded as the big band, Ian.
I was going to say yes, and that could be Sammy Davis Jr. music, Sinatra kind of. So back to the, let's say, early to end of the 50s. And then we will close the year with Mantra Tribute. So Tribute is about what it says. It's going to be about a famous singer. And that could be anyone from, we could go back to the 70s, eventually Beatles, but moving on to the Stones. Obviously it has to be a music we can actually play here in Mantra that should fit with a dinner. But it could also be anyone like Madonna or Michael Jackson. Why not? Could be ABBA. We haven't yet decided. Obviously, we need to find the right band and more likely the right singer. Yes. And once we have that together, we're going to do anything we can to provide the expect for Mantra. And obviously, we want to repeat that next year. So that will be year one, and those musical programs will repeat themselves year on year. So it should be here next year, same time for classic again.
Well, I'm sure it's wonderful that you're doing it, but also the caliber of the musicians tonight. I mean, to have the Bangkok Symphony Orchestra, it's not just some guys who are studying at the local music school or something. These are proper working musicians, qualified musicians.
Absolutely, they are full-time, I should say, musicians performing with Bangkok Symphony Orchestra. Obviously, to do such a concert night, you really need to get the right caliber of musicians and quality. Most of the musicians tonight have 20 years with BSO. I mean, it's easy to see that there is within the quintet a younger gentleman who's 10 years with them already. But they are professional performers. They perform in Thailand, outside Thailand, and for those who again know Bangkok and the cultural life there is, BSO is just BSO. I mean, we call them BSO, all respect to Bangkok Symphony Orchestra. So they help us, they play here tonight. Strangely, they would eventually get involved into Mantra Jazz as well.
Ah, okay.
Yes, the reason being is that, musicians are musicians. They would probably play with BSO. That would be their work in a way. Sure. I would say when they are at leisure, some actually are jazzmen, and they play together. So that would bring the same quality of experience. Latino would be probably different without them. But definitely tonight, it's really there. And I don't know if they can hear there, but this is really special.
With the Latino night, I have to ask you, and I'm maybe putting you on the spot, but are you going to have some room for people to dance?
I would say why not?
Well, I think you
why
have
not?
to.
That sounds like a good idea. We could also try to initiate those to go and probably go for a bit of salsa, merengue, or even a tango would be beautiful.
Well, when I did the interview, the first Scottish night that you did, and I did the interview with a guy who happens to be from the same city as me in Scotland, and he said that they would be doing the Strip the Willow, the Scottish dance,
was nice.
in the middle of Mantra. And I said to him, no, you're crazy, it won't happen. And an hour later, we were all doing it.
And you see, and we have picture of that, so it's documented.
I'm sorry about that.
If anybody doubts it, but no, obviously, I thought we would definitely allow those who like to dance there. But now that you speak about it, we should probably think of bringing if we can also find that, Amari has been sponsoring Dancing with the Stars this year. So through that, we've been in touch with great dancers. If you follow the program, it would be nice probably to combine the concert together with a tango demo, you could say, but bringing a couple or two dancing tango during dinner and invite them, those who know and who dare to try dancing tango. No, it could also be, as I said, salsa or merengue, but I take you on the spot again, as you just said about myself. You'll be the first one dancing on that night, okay? So
I'm not much of a dancer.
I will put
actually.
a reminder to myself to make sure you don't miss that one, okay?
Okay, tell us what else is happening with Mantra. I was speaking to somebody this week, and actually I made a business deal with somebody, and I said, okay, what's my fee for this? How much do I have to pay you for this guy? And you know what he said to me? Brunch at Mantra. So tell us, how's the brunch at Mantra going?
Well, the brunch is doing extremely well. As well, obviously, we've got a bit of competition coming around, and we are glad welcoming other hotels or restaurants, going on that market. Mantra brunch for Easter will be a bit special. When it comes to our regular Mantra brunch, it has not changed for one single reason, which is all about Mantra brunch. We can't touch anything. The minute we change, we move the prawns from left to left, we receive a pile of complaints. So obviously you don't fix what's not broken, but Mantra brunch is such a success and they really like it. So all our regular guests know what they're going to find, where they're going to find it, and I think by no means they would ever want to change anything. Eventually we are looking at adding, and again probably more to thank all our regular guests who've been loyal to Mantra brunch the past 6 years or slightly more, probably add some jazz to it as well, either every Sunday or every now and then. It has been already done, and déjà vu, we say in my language. But we know it's quite pleasurable. You enjoy your brunch on a Sunday at lunch, and you got this background of light jazz around you. So nothing quite new, I have to say. We are not a trendsetter as in, but obviously it's going to add value and probably keep the brunch going for the next probably couple of years, obviously.
Well, it's a winning combination, of course.
No, it is. It's comfortable. It's obviously well priced, I have to say. We've got one of the largest buffet you can find, I would say, between here and probably north of Thailand. Indeed, and you're one of probably those guests coming and seeing that every now and then. Obviously, it's easy for us to say. There is no luck between with Mantra brunch. It's not that much work, but it's just about consistency and making sure that the quality of the product we buy is always there. Our chef would take his car and drive sometime up to Bangkok to find some strawberries if there is none. So the king crab is definitely one of the favorites. We have this magnificent wine buffet that everybody likes, which is also very competitive. And eventually the brunch is almost working like a club nowadays. Huh? Yes. And
it is a club. And actually, what's remarkable is when you come for brunch, it's almost like a networking actually, because there's so many people there that I know. It's all expats, really, predominantly expats.
That's right. We with their family, because of course it's family friendly. Obviously, I don't know how many contracts have been signed around the brunch, but I would imagine that quite a few discussions have been taking place around the buffets. Obviously, yes, they all know each other. You can see it when you park your car. Everybody has his own spot. Yes. They know where to park. They would not dare to park on that one because they know that their friend is going to use it. So, definitely. And Mantra overall is very much working like a club. I felt it myself starting 8 months ago as an employee of the hotel. The first time you pass the door, you feel your teeth head to toes, and they would ask where you belong and are you from here, and Mantra is definitely sort of a club, I have to say, these days. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the date for the next one again, Richard?
That will be Mantra Jazz, 18th of May. Moving forward, followed in June by Latino, and then we spend the summer wherever we like to be. We meet again in September with Retro, and eventually Retro may be delayed to October if we don't really find the caliber we need, and we close the year with Tribute, and that takes us to end of November, early December. And the Scottish Night will be there too.
And the Scottish Night as well. Okay, we're going to wind it up. We're going to get back. Enjoy our meal, enjoy the music. here at Mantra. And you know what? The camera doesn't do it justice. The food, nor the music. So get yourself down here. And if you've missed this one, that's the date for your diary, or indeed come to the Sunday brunch. Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Okay.
Merci.